Go ahead.
You. Come with me. Serious.
What did I do?
Stacy. Come on.
I have to do my hair and stuff.
I never had to do it before. Come on.
Yeah, I did.
Come on. Come with me. Come with me. We have discussions. Get your butt out here, lady. Good morning. Hello, hello. Having a little discussion talk. Shoot, I got my coffee. Let's go. Get out of it now. How could you? You destroyed the couch while we were gone. Good morning, Cherie. Looks like we had a little storm that made the couch all wet. Daisy's joining us in just a second. Bonjour. Hello. How you been? Sir Bum John, hello. It's a beautiful Florida day. With real American coffee. I'm on my break. And I gotta go back. Alright, Sir Bum John, welcome in. Go back to your break. Go back to work. It's alright. This is a very impromptu thing. We're just going to discuss the trip a little bit. Stacy will join us in just a second. But anyways, good morning. We just got back from our trip last night. From our first ever journey to Disneyland, Paris. And it was a fun time. But let's do this, because Stacy's not going to sit on this thing. And she's going to be grumpy if she puts that. I didn't expect the couch to be wet. I will sit on the wetness. Spare Stacy. Wetness. Stop staring at my butt.
Is it dry or is it wet?
It's dry now. I gave you the dry cushion. Don't sit on this one, sit on this one. Cherie's here though.
Good morning.
It's like totally like noontime in France, so
Yeah.
so you should have been up 5 hours ago.
Yeah. You just sprung this on me. So.
I made you coffee, Americano.
Yeah.
Americano.
Oh my God.
Hey, you want to start it off with the coffee?
So So we flew from the Orlando airport to Dublin, Ireland, and then we flew from Dublin to Paris, France. The coffee.
Charles de Gaulle, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The coffee at the Dublin, Ireland airport, and all the coffee that we encountered in France is horrible. It's not even coffee.
It's like they put an entire ground bag of coffee into one little cup.
But it's not bitter. It's not like, you know how coffee can be bitter.
It can be.
This was
you're
not
buying cheap coffee,
a bitter coffee, and that's not why it was horrible. I think it was more like an espresso. And,
definitely, yeah.
And I don't do espresso, so if you're expecting coffee, and they're giving you this hard espresso, it's like...
The thing is, they have espresso, cappuccino, they have their coffee, they have coffee Americano, which is still 10 times stronger than anything that we have over here.
But I'll tell you,
it's different. Definitely different.
No matter how much sugar and cream you put in it, doesn't make it anywhere close to our coffee.
Yeah.
So that was a culture shock for me.
Even their Americano is not Americano.
It's nowhere close to being an Americano.
How did it taste? Yesterday you did one thing. You ended up having to take your coffee and you dumped half of it out, and then you added milk.
I put tons. I put
How did that make it? Did it make it more like ours, or just make it like milky bad coffee?
It was less bad coffee, to the point where I probably had maybe 6 sips and I had to throw it out. I couldn't do it.
All right.
I couldn't do it.
But our trip, this morning I did not mean to set this up to whine about bad coffee. But that ended up being the discussion. But anyways,
so that was a
thank you for being here. We had an awesome trip. Overall thoughts of Disneyland Paris? I loved it. I thought it was a great place. It was very, very nice. It was different.
It was definitely different.
I definitely like Disney World better than Disneyland Paris.
Yes.
Well, our stuff is bigger. We have a lot more stuff down here. There's definitely good things over there things that are better over there than what we have over here in Walt Disney World. But now we have another Disneyland park, another Disneyland park in a different country that we can compare stuff to, which is cool for us. Yeah. We knocked off a bucket list.
If I was going to spend money and say, if someone came to me and said, should I go to Disney World or Disneyland Paris? And just do Magic Kingdom versus Disneyland Paris and Hollywood Studios versus their Walt Disney Studios. I would do Walt Disney World. There's a lot more.
That's an unfair comparison though, because their Hollywood Studios are still in the works. They still have a whole section that's not.
Well, both their parks actually have a lot of construction going on.
Yeah.
They have walls up, and you can tell.
All right, Cherie, thanks for popping in.
They could tell that they're still building in the park, and they're still renovating and stuff like that. But I still would pick Disney World. Well, yeah. With what is there now, right now, I would pick Disney World. But would I pick Hollywood Studios over Walt Disney Studios? That's a question.
Say good morning to Doug.
Good morning, Dougie.
Not Dougie, it's Doug.
Doug. Sorry, Doug.
Would you go again? Yes, we would definitely go again. We want to go again. With the kids want to go. We have a lot of videos coming up. Coming up.
So here's
more
the
specific things about different stuff. Morning, Laura.
We went for our anniversary. So I was videoing.
This is our 30-year anniversary. Special bucket list item thing that we wanted to do. I definitely wanted to do probably more than you did.
Definitely.
But we set it up, and it turned out to be a really good experience, and I'm glad we did.
But when I videoed, I wasn't walking around looking through my camera lens. I was holding the camera, and I was looking where I was going and seeing, because I wasn't going to miss out looking through a camera.
Hey, Jamie.
So hopefully my videos come out okay, because it was more important to me to enjoy the park and be there, of course, than to just video everything.
And I videoed and did a lot of pictures.
Yeah, you did more of the photos.
My videos should be good.
So there's times where I looked, I was like, oh, the camera should have been up higher or whatever, but I didn't want to experience the whole thing through a lens. And I didn't know what we were going to do every day, what to expect. So I made sure I brought the camera. It was rolling the whole time, but I wasn't always looking through the lens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because it was more important, especially spending that much money, it was more important to me to actually enjoy it and just hope that I can capture some stuff that you guys can see. You know what I mean?
So we went there with the intention was just to go there. This was to fly over to Disneyland Paris, not France, not Paris.
Yeah.
It was a small little 30-year anniversary vacation type
We
break
stayed in the Disney bubble.
for Disneyland Paris. Okay, so if you're expecting anything other than Disneyland Paris or the parks and that immediate bubble, then it's not going to be in these videos.
Yeah.
Because that's not what we went there for. We went here for.
I mean,
we wanted to do Paris. We wanted to do a lot of different parts of France. When we had the kids with us, and we weren't bringing them with us on our 30-year anniversary.
Yeah. Sophie would have definitely wanted to come. So we told her that we're just doing the bubble, and that's why.
Yeah, she had just went to parts of France and Switzerland and everything like that.
Yeah.
And Avery.
She wants to take us.
And we weren't sure. Well, first of all, again, it was 30-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And Avery, we weren't going to put that on Avery with his conditions right now anyway.
Yeah,
so he
he's
wasn't.
regressed.
We don't know how he's going to do handling a bus ride and the plane ride for that long, and whatnot. But when we got there, it was the first travel day was a long travel day. But when we finally got there, we got there around 6 o'clock. Okay, into the park, Disneyland Paris, that first day, and it was open from 6 to 10:40.
Yeah.
And that night, it was like everything we did. We were like, let's see, let's go look around and see what we can.
What we can do. The lay of the land, you know.
And get the lay of the land. So we did that, and we walked around that whole park. But we noticed that there was no wait for anything. So we just popped on. We popped on Phantom Manor. We popped on.
They were all walk-ons.
Indiana Jones. We walked on Pirates of the Caribbean. Walked on. When I say walk on, we walked on. It was like, wow,
so what is
this? We're like,
all
what happened?
The major must-dos.
Within 4 hours of our first trip, which made everything
crazy.
Awesome because now we can.
Sorry.
We definitely weren't stressed
we gotta read
to have to get stuff done, you know.
All right, we're gonna read.
Because we went there with a list of things. Okay, I definitely want to see this, that, and the other thing, and doing a lot of those things check marked in those first couple hours in such a relaxed setting, in such an immediate walk on. We didn't have to buy that pass that.
The $120 pass, like the lightning lane.
The lightning lane pass, we did not need it at all.
Absolutely not.
So we were like, wow, it was a very blessed trip. Yeah, go ahead.
You know. All right, so I see Surf Bum is here. Welcome in, Surf Bum.
Cherie was here.
I believe I saw It's Joey's World. Jamie from Chronicles of L&J. Check out their channel. Lori is here. Mark's here.
Hey, Mark, welcome in.
My phone is plugged into the computer and it's uploading all my files. I see Doug, Zippity.
What do you do, Doug?
Yeah, Doug. Julie McCowan is here.
I said hi to her already.
Yeah. If I missed you, anyone, just kind of post now.
Post again if you want.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Thanks for everyone to pop in to this impromptu video, live stream, whatever you want to call it.
I caught a cold 2 days before our trip, and I was doing decongestants and pills and sprays. And
his voice is so funny.
So during these videos, just gonna warn you, during these videos, I sound like Fuzzy Bear, Kermit the Frog, Yoda.
It's a mixture.
Really bad.
Yeah. It's too bad that you were sick. I had
no voice. I had none of my high voice vocals were coming out of my mouth at all.
Yeah.
So the only thing that you could hear is the low vocals.
Yeah, Julie. So we walked on. It totally blew our minds.
Yeah, we thought something was wrong. What are we doing wrong? Because it's just definitely
is there
unlike
something
Disney
else
World.
we should be doing? Why? Because you know how Pirates is here and Haunted Mansion is here, and a lot of the rides. They're always busy,
in at least 20, 25-minute waits at least, right?
Can you guess?
You never ever have walk-on.
Can you guess which ride was the longest line out of their park? Just think about Magic Kingdom.
That is exactly like
Think about Magic Kingdom. And what is the longest ride that tends to be here?
Guess who's in the chat?
Guesses in the chat. Let you guys have time to guess in the chat. They had some stuff that we didn't have, and obviously we had stuff that they didn't have. They had some rides.
Joey's World.
Yeah.
Lisa's
Lisa, yeah. We gotta connect with Lisa.
Yeah. No, Lisa. Small World was a walk-on.
No,
again.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was cool. You start outside. That was really a neat experience, starting outside.
From what I've seen a video, that one is exactly like the one in California. Yeah, it starts outside, it ends outside.
Colorful.
But it's not the inside. They didn't have Pixar stuff or Disney stuff inside like the one in California does.
No.
But I loved this Small World. They had a lot more entryways within big rooms,
like arches.
Like the one in Florida has you have a new archway for each room you're going through, whereas this had rooms within rooms or sections within different rooms that had archways. So it's it was by country.
Okay,
and you can definitely tell which country was which country.
So Jamie guessed Dumbo. Nope, they did have a Dumbo.
They had two Dumbos.
That seemed to be mirrored.
All those little kid rides were definitely were busy.
Peter Pan, ding 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 ding. Laura gets the prize.
The first day we tried to go on Peter Pan, we waited in about 15 minutes and it broke down, so we didn't get to go on it.
Yeah.
The second day, it said 45 minutes, but we had gotten every single thing that we wanted to get done.
Yeah.
So we was like, okay, let's go wait in the 45-minute ride.
Yeah, and it's different. It was different. So glad we did that.
It is slightly different. They have 2 rowboats, which we should definitely have here in Florida. They should convert the 2 rowboats. The ride vehicle.
Yeah, the ride vehicle
in Peter Pan.
Yeah, and it still is a 45-minute wait.
It's slightly different in how they present it, but the storyline is basically the same. You go off to Neverland, they fight the pirates.
But the queue is all outside, and it's just a regular line queue. So they don't have, you're not walking into the house. So what you see is what you get for your line. Because I was standing there going, oh boy, I hope we're not walking into the house, and now we have all of those turnstile, ziggy-zaggy things inside. And it did kind of go slow. The line did go slow. It was definitely a 45-minute.
It's a slow ride because it's a slow vehicle
capacity.
It's not a high capacity ride.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it's taking you're taking 6 people instead of 3 people or 4 people. Like in America, you can have you're not taking 4 people per thing. But it's just the ride itself is it's not a big people
but
cruncher
it was
when it's
rough. Remember?
That was the most jerky ride in their entire parks.
So out of all the roller coasters that we rode there and all the rides, Peter Pan was the rougher ride.
The roughest ride.
It was banging. Oh my god, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was neat because it was different.
It was fun, yeah, and I liked the visuals and stuff. I liked their part where it's a little different. We won't spoil it. We'll have the video out there. But
I figure what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do videos.
What was each of our favorite rides? Someone wants to know.
Someone mentioned the dragon. There wasn't a line for the dragon. It was only open on certain hours of the day. Yeah. Dragon was super cool. I got video of it, and it roars. Very cool.
It roars and
we need a dragon
it moves
here.
Around and it's just that.
And you could go up into the castle. There's stairways, so you go up into another level of the castle, which is kind of cool too. Yeah,
you can go out throughout the castle. Yeah. They have really nice stained glass throughout the castle.
And the castle was pretty. It was pink because don't forget it was Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
And our hotel was extremely pink. It was everything pink.
I think it's supposed to be rose gold, but whatever.
But I think it was because of Sleeping Beauty,
Yeah.
Favorite ride, though? Okay, so I would say...
Phantom Manor, for me.
It was either going to be that or the Pirate ride.
They're both really good.
Their Haunted Mansion, Phantom Manor ride and their Pirate ride is longer than our ride. There's much more to see.
It seems like they're both twice as long.
Yeah.
The Phantom Manor different. Okay, you're gonna see it in the videos or whatnot, and you probably saw it from other people's videos by now, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's more like a Frontierland type themed, Western frontier. It's based out in the frontier, you know, so it has some.
But part of it isn't, though. Part of it doesn't feel like it's.
It's like they tried to mix our Haunted Mansion
with
Western, of like the Liberty Tree, you know,
the big mansion,
rich mansion type of thing with a old like a Western town type of.
It's almost like because there's the Phantom Manor. He's the bad guy, and I think they're trying to show that he's been around forever, and that's why they go back to the West.
Yeah, that's the interpretation.
That's kind of what I think.
I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see that
because he was. They show him he is there, and she wasn't. The house that they were in was not Old West house. So
I would like to get someone's take. What's the real story of that thing? Because
we'll have to read it.
Because the woman is again has a bunch of different husbands, but to me it's like she
wasn't killing them.
She's haunted by the hat ghost, the top hat ghost, or whatever.
No, I don't think he's the hat.
He is haunted. It is the hat box ghost. He has a giant hat on his head.
So
it's the hat box ghost.
Hat doesn't mean back in those days they wore hats.
Well, you had your say. My take is she's being haunted by the hat box ghost. He's behind her and all these things, and she's crying into the mirror, and he's in the mirror, and it's like he's been, and then he go to the cemetery and he's laughing and he's having he's having something for revenge.
Well, he must have left his hat box.
I get the feeling he is killing any husbands that she has to keep her sad or something like that. I don't know.
I'm gonna read up on that, and maybe when we show the video, I can do some explanation. So I'm not too sure how I should do this because I did video full rides. So what I was gonna do is like, okay, here's our day.
Oh my gosh.
And do bits and pieces of the ride.
Come in, what Melissa's in?
Oh, good morning. And then the next video will be full ride of whatever we did that day. And then do day 2, snippets of rides, how our day was, and then do whatever rides we did, full ride, like and do that.
Yeah.
I think that's what I might do. That way, you get the snippets of the rides, and then you can say, okay, here's the full rides for that particular day. And then, you know?
Yeah.
Because the video's going to be way too long for me to go, all right, we're up, we're in the park, full ride, and what else did we do? You know, it would be too long.
Do the overview, like the day 1 type of thing, and then you do each ride individually so people, if they want to see the ride.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I mean, I still have Epic Universe. We have
our production team is falling behind.
We have the Celestial area. We have How to Train a Dragon area. We have the Harry Potter area.
Hello, Heather.
So I still have those videos.
Heather Springer's here.
So I think I might put those on hold and do our France and then go back to them. I think that would probably be best. So I'm sure everyone's posting Epic Universe videos anyways. So I think that's what I'm going to do is I'll put those on hold and do the France.
Yeah, Mark, it was definitely weird. And some of these rides are, some of them are in French, some of them are in English, some of them have a dual thing. They'll say it one line in French and then they'll repeat it in English type of thing.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
So it left up to interpretation when I don't know. I know a very, very little bit of French. Okay, I took it in high school 30 years ago and 40 years ago, whatever. I know a very tiny bit about what was going on. I know keywords and stuff like that. And you had no French,
no,
right?
I'm
teaching myself. You don't know what they're saying. You don't know what they're probably telling us the storyline or whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't understand that.
You gotta make sure we're reading the chat. Good morning, Francisco.
Francisco.
I thought I saw a Heather.
Heather Springer.
Okay. Hi, Heather.
But it's definitely a different experience. I was totally glad that we went, and it was a very fun time. It turned out to be a lot more relaxing than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to have to, we have to do this, and be determined and do whatever. But since almost 95%, the The only two rides that weren't a walk-on was Peter Pan and Pinocchio.
Pinocchio, yeah.
Peter Pan and Pinocchio.
We had a small line for, it's a small word, but it was really small. It moved because the boats were big, high capacity, and they...
Yeah. It was like a 2-minute wait for...
I would say Disneyland was the busiest.
The busiest, definitely. And a lot of families there with
kids.
A lot of family there with toddlers.
Yeah, yeah.
So the bulk of everyone there was with toddlers.
The culture shock issue was they don't staff their parks like Walt Disney World. Walt Disney World, you will see a cast member. No matter where you're in the park, you'll see at least 2 or 3 cast members
at the entrance of every ride.
You can be at this place and stand in the middle of the land, and there's no cast member.
Like, where is everybody?
While you have children climbing on things, hanging from trees, people smoking and vaping wherever they want.
It was definitely like a zip back to the 80s or whatever.
Oh gosh. Everywhere you went there was smoke, like you could smell smoke and vaping.
It wasn't that
with
that
my
bad,
thing,
but...
I can't have that, so I was stressing out big time. I'm walking around with my legs swinging because I can't have the secondhand smoke.
Sounds like SeaWorld. No, that wasn't like SeaWorld.
No. SeaWorld, we saw people.
He's joking.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because we saw people at SeaWorld. We always saw it, no matter where we were in relation to a ride.
Chris Robotics, welcome in.
We got walked off of Pinocchio, and they gave us a slip. So the day we decided to use the slip, we go over to the ride.
It was very
No
fresh.
worker.
Hey, Ross.
We go into a doorway, no worker. We go into another doorway, no worker. Now I'm like ready to walk into a door. Finally, we ended up walking into the exit, and a worker was there because obviously,
the worker was way over there, and she was like, "Oh, just 1 minute."
Yeah.
She called us over,
and then she had.
I gave her my slip, and she sat us down right.
But she was
right
like,
there on the right.
We walked in the hallway. We walked through the
like searching for workers. It's just a different vibe.
Yeah. A lot of the workers, they spoke a lot of different languages. So if you go to say something to them,
the workers
they'll
were
be
friendly.
like French, English, German, Italian. I don't think that I ever said Spanish.
English.
Is that English? And then some of them couldn't speak English whatsoever. Yeah. And then some, was broken, and some was good English.
Yeah. We had no problem with communication, really.
No, because we would stop to say this way to...
And everyone that we talked to was very friendly.
All the workers were nice, yeah.
They were all very nice. When you found them.
Yeah, when you found them, yes. They were all nice.
And so we had no issues there. It was a very good experience. I'm glad we went. It was a bucket list item off of our list. And what made it so much fun right from the start, though, I think that first night being able to walk on those rides was a very good first experience there, where I think it just made the rest of the other 2 days so much more relaxing.
Yeah, we didn't have to worry about going on rides because we saw how it would be easy to do that, so we wouldn't stress.
I was expecting to get there and 45-minute wait, 45-minute wait, 45-minute. We got to do the most important stuff first.
Yeah.
But then it was like we were boom, boom, boom. We did like 3 rides in 15 minutes. 3 big rides. We did Pirates, Phantom Manor, and Indiana Jones, all in it was like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We did it, and that's just the walk between them.
All right. Hi, Chris Robotics. Students are pretty low there. Yeah. Welcome in, Audrons. I saw Audrons, and I saw someone else. Ross and Found? Is that what? It keeps jumping. I apologize. John Casamano, thank you. Welcome in. Heather, we saw Heather. Sorry. My phone is inputting all my videos, which was over 1,000.
We took so many videos.
Yeah, it was over, I think it was like 1,200.
It was good though. Again, I highly recommend you if you can get over there. You want to see a different Disney park. It's a very nice, pretty park. Again, there was construction going on while we were going on.
There's going to be, there's going to be so much more added to the park.
They have the hub and spoke, just like all the other Disney parks, I think, have.
And they go off.
So it made it easy to get around.
Yeah.
They closed their entire Fantasyland, not just the little section behind the castle. Their entire Fantasyland.
Even if you're in line
for the fireworks, for the fireworks at night, they closed.
They make an announcement.
Yeah, so that's another thing to think about.
You gotta leave, no matter if you're in line or not.
You gotta.
So the other culture shock is like when you're walking around Disney World, you hear people talking in English. You hear people talking in different languages. A lot of it is like British, but they're talking English, but they have that heavy accent.
I thought it was cool hearing all the different languages because
you don't hear English at all when you're walking around the park.
Yeah, I think we ran into two American.
I was gonna say we're probably the only Americans in the whole park.
We heard maybe two other American people.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was cool hearing. That's German. That's cool.
You
and
heard
then the
French, Italian, and German
and
were the three languages that were heavy over there. You didn't hear English. The only time I remember hearing English was those three ladies that were on the Phantom Manor that were in a line with us.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard it, it actually felt funny. It sounded funny to me because I was like, wait a second, I recognize that.
American.
But the whole time, all the guests, so you're not just talking about all the guests, were talking other languages than us. That was weird.
It's a very big mix.
That was really weird. And then the food.
That's got to be hard for a worker. My God. If you're a worker that speaks French there and only French, right? You got to deal with Italian, German, Spanish.
I know, but 98% of them probably spoke all those languages.
Some of them do, yeah.
I mean, that is great for them to be able to do that. That's amazing.
That'd be cool.
I feel like we got to start. Like I've been teaching myself Spanish, very slow at it, but I feel like we should be learning French as well. Like, if you have little kids, try to get them to learn another language now, because it's going to be helpful when they get to be an adult. If that is an option, I highly suggest that. In this world, you really need, like down here, you need to know Spanish, because it's heavily Spanish down here. People speaking Spanish. So down here, like I said, I was kind of trying to teach myself Spanish. But over there, you got to learn, obviously, if you're not from there, you have to learn French. But Italian is heavy in German, not Spanish. So it's really interesting.
How was getting from the airport to the hotel?
That was easy. So there's a Disney, we paid for
the magical shuttle. The magical shuttle.
Which is a big red and yellow bus that is gleaming Disney, so you know.
It says Disney World Magic Shuttle.
Yeah, so you just go find the shuttle bus, and there's signs. So you follow the signs, you get there.
And when you get off, through the airport, through the terminal, you can ask anyone, they'll say,
they all know where the shuttle bus is.
At between 2E and 2F or 1T or whatever.
Yeah, we have a video on that. So it was very easy.
Very easy getting on there.
The only thing is the bus goes to two different airports.
No. Well, there's two totally different buses. Our bus did not go to two airports. Our bus went to one airport.
Oh,
there was a different bus that went
to the Paris.
Yeah, there's one bus for Orly, and then there's one bus for Charles de Gaulle. So ours went. It went to different terminals throughout the airport.
Yeah. But we did drive past the other airport. I think it was just because on the way to the airport, they stopped and picked up at the different hotels. The hotel that we stayed at was closest to the Grand Floridian. It was their Grand Floridian.
Ours was, we stayed at the Disneyland Paris Hotel, which is the one that's right between everything.
You walk out the back door and you're in the park.
Disneyland Paris is there, you have studios there, and then you have Disney Village there.
So you don't need a car.
I am so glad that we did that. It made it so much easier, and you're inside the Disney bubble the whole time. And it was it was a great experience. Again, there's certain things that we weren't expecting. You got to learn how to do the shower in the French hotels. They're different. She had a little French fit, trying to learn how to do the shower.
Yeah,
she should have just asked me. French words. Should have just asked me.
Well, so you have two novelties. One's hot and cold. Okay, so that was easy to figure out. Then the other one, I'm trying to turn the shower
There's one to turn
off.
the power of the water, and the other one to make it hot or cold.
And when I did that,
put it together.
cold water started coming out. If you know me, I don't like anything cold. So I just finished my shower, and now I'm getting dumped on with cold water. So there was a lot of 4-letter French words coming out of my mouth. I was so pissed.
Yeah.
I hate stuff like that. Like, I turned it. It should have turned off.
I think you would have just asked me. I took the shower. I take my showers first.
Well, you would think if you turn it, it would turn. So I turned it all the way that it let me, and then there was cold water. So I let it running while I got ready. I was like, screw this. I was pissed. But the food was a huge issue for me.
Yeah, the Disneyland Paris
Hotel. Oh my
Hotel.
God! If you're picky,
the Disneyland Paris Hotel where we stayed did not have any store where there was a food court, or they had. It was more like the boardwalk. They had 2 very posh restaurants there.
Mm-hmm.
They had a store that had merch in it, but they didn't have anything that had like, okay, here's your soda section, your
right. Here's your toiletries that you might have forgotten.
Yeah, your different medicines and
whatever. Nothing like that. It was all posh. Yeah.
When we went up to talk to the people, do you have a store with sodas or something like that? And so we could. It was off. It's not out there, but it's upon request. You go to the person behind the counter, behind the cashier register.
Oh yeah, that's
and they have a menu that they can give you. You can order sodas there.
Yeah,
but it's very, very. It's just pretty much sodas.
Yeah,
because we were looking for like kind of like snacks, like pre-made salads or sandwiches or whatever like that, which they did not have.
I was banking on them having something like that.
But they do have room service. The room service you had the funny pasta.
They had a pasta bolognese,
which is really good.
It was really good, so I really liked it.
We ended up having that 2 nights.
Yes, because that's the only food in the entire hotel that I could eat.
That she could eat.
Seriously.
And it's very expensive.
And it was good. It was very expensive, but it was good, and I was able to eat it. So it was worth the price, because it was either that or I don't eat.
That night, yeah. And 2 nights we did it.
We had to do it 2 nights.
Put this way. As we say, very expensive, it was 26 euros, okay? So that's not.
Translate that to US dollars is $1,000.
It's not. No, it's not. It's like $30.
Our dollar is worth crap over there.
But we got taken advantage of at the airport. I think people we've been told by a couple of people, exchange your stuff at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest mistake ever. Do not do that. Do not do that, because you would think that you could trust the airport, but when I was looking at the rates. Okay, someone might want to do I don't know if anyone else is more experienced at doing a rate, exchanging money. But I gave them $100, and we got 60 euros, which I was looking at all the conversion charts. I was like, this is not even close to what we should have gotten. Okay, so first
You even questioned it when they gave it to us. You're like, really?
There's a $7 fee, okay, which I understand. Okay, so you're down to $93, right? Just to do it. But $93 does not transfer to 60 euros in any conversion charts that I was seeing for that day or within that even week period. So I think we got screwed somewhere.
I think that.
And I was like, really, only $60?
Like, yeah.
And I was like,
I think she pocketed $20 or.
I was like, this is saying it's like, it was like an 8-cent difference between what I was seeing on the charts or whatever. So either there was like some type of airport fee, or that company that was the only one that we could see in the airport. Maybe that company had an extra fee. Don't shut the stream.
I'm trying to read the chat. You got to use.
Well, you have the zombie fingers, so maybe you shouldn't be.
Well, then you should be reading the chat. Since you're the one that's in front of
I was talking.
Well, yeah, but we have to read the chat. So snails, no, I didn't see snails on the menu. There was a lot of lamb, duck. I like white meat, so duck is out. I don't want to eat little lambs. So I'm more of like a chicken.
Safe travels, Mark.
Chicken.
Mark's heading out.
Oh, he's going back. We missed him.
Yeah, we just missed Mark.
I was banking on a lot of pasta.
She has these zombie fingers that does not acknowledge on her phone. She has.
I have like no circulation.
She's cold-blooded,
Yeah.
so it doesn't take anything.
So I could press the phone
joking.
and it doesn't work, and then all of a sudden it glitches.
No, this is Stacy, right?
I'm sorry. If you pay a lot of money for something, it should work.
That's what she does whenever she's
So
on
I
the
get
phone.
easily frustrated because you can buy something cheap and
Morning, Dawn.
that shouldn't work. But like a phone, I'm sorry, it should work.
She freaks
So
out.
I get really frustrated easy with things because I feel that if you spend
Jacob,
money,
welcome in.
it should work.
Yeah.
What's the point if it doesn't work? But so
Bonjour,
the
Dawn.
food was hard. A lot of them were reservations and they were full, but some of the restaurants actually had a line called without reservation, and you walk up to that line, and they'll bring you in when they can. And we did a walk on. We ate at the Remy restaurant.
Yeah, we were
Chef
in that.
Remy
We were
restaurant.
in doing that studios. The last day we went in there for the morning, which is all we needed was the morning.
Right, it's a small place.
We were walking around the Ratatouille area, and there's a Bistro de Remy, Bistro Chez Remy, and we looked at the menu. It's like, oh yeah, you have the chicken that you could
You
eat.
saw the chicken. Where
I saw
online it didn't have chicken.
And there's a bunch of stuff that I could eat. So I was like, wow. And then we had seen from the ride, it's almost like there's a section where, when you're going through Mexico, you could see their restaurant. So from the Ratatouille ride, there's like a whole glass where you could see the Ratatouille restaurant. I'm like, wow, that's wicked cool. It looked really cool in there.
Well, we were also told by DDG Explorers, Derek and Gregory, that if you're going to do a restaurant, do that restaurant.
So we were there so when we went,
dentist.
something's going on. So we were there outside the Ratatouille ride is the Chez Remy there, and we noticed that line that said, okay, this is the line for people with reservations. There's a line for people with no reservations. Like, okay, and it was about to open.
We're
It
like,
was like
let's take a chance. Let's
It
see what
opened at
happens.
11:30. We were there like around 11:15 or whatever, and there's one group. There's one couple right in front.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, so we got them behind them. So let's just try to get lunch
We'll
there.
give them 10, 15 minutes.
So they opened up at 11:30, and they were taking the reservation people in, but there was a regular lady taking all non-reservation people.
Yeah. So we got in.
Just like a regular.
We sat there for
walk-up.
like 5-10 minutes, and then
We got in right away.
And
We
they
got
sat
a
us
normal
down.
table. It was like wow, and the inside is the atmosphere of that restaurant is really cool.
It's kind of like
you're shrunken down to a size of a rat.
it's like the ride. It's the ending scene of the ride where they have like the flowers and the hanging
sitting on
white Christmas lights. You're
bottle
sitting
cap
on bottle
chairs.
caps.
It's really.
It's
cool.
just like the ride. It's like the scene that you see of the rats in the ride is what we ate at. Videoed all that, so you'll get to see that.
The food was really good, so I'm glad the
chicken
food was good.
Really good.
Simmer too, man. Welcome in.
Potatoes,
Yeah, everything was good.
Yeah, I was able to eat there, except for my dessert.
Except for your dessert, which was.
I asked him, like, is that a cheesecake? Everything's in French, and I saw fromage, and I know fromage is cheese. So I was like, is this a cheesecake? And she said, yeah. When she brought it out, it looked like a plastic fake yellow cheese, like Swiss cheese wedge. It didn't look like food. It looked more like Play-Doh.
Very orange. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And then when I ate it, if Melissa's still on here, it was that weird Jello consistency. So it was not cheesecake consistency.
It was like cheesecake mixed with Jello. The texture, if you can imagine cheesecake and Jello, it's like
more of the Jello.
It's like a jellyish
a little
cheesecake.
gritty. It was a little gritty too.
I know I've had that recently at some other place we tried. It was like we explained the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember where we ate that.
I wouldn't get that again. If you're expecting cheesecake, solid, thick, creamy, dense is like what I like my cheesecake. This was not anything like that. I mean, it wasn't bad tasting, but it was.
It wasn't awful. I got the chocolate mousse, which was awesome.
That was good.
That was very
good.
chocolatey and great. And what do you expect? And you get the same stuff in France and Epcot. It was so good.
Mousse,
Very, very great chocolate flavor.
Yeah.
So Chez Remy was highly recommendable. Try that. It was the thing is you have a choice of prefix. Okay, it's like there's a Remy prefix where you get the appetizer and the entree, or there's the meal prefix, which is appetizer, entree, and dessert.
A lot of the restaurants had those prefix meals too.
There was only $10 in between the difference, so you're getting a dessert for $10 more, where most of the desserts were like $18.
Yeah.
Or these are euros, sorry, not dollars, euros.
Yeah.
So it was 45 euros for the Remy, 55 for the meal, which isn't bad, you know, regardless. So that's like what, 65 bucks.
I got a salad that had sliced pears. I don't know what the dressing.
Your salad was really good.
It wasn't regular lettuce. It was this weird light yellow and white lettuce, but I don't know what it was.
It wasn't iceberg, and it definitely wasn't romaine.
No, it wasn't.
It was like
it's not
leafy,
anything that we would have here.
Not too leafy. It was like a light leafy.
I know it was a vinaigrette, but don't forget,
It's very good.
A lot of their words of what they have when they translate it to America is still words I don't know. Because they everything's kind of high end, I want to say, with some of these places.
Yeah, you don't speak rich.
I had to Google my pasta bolognese. It said something before the pasta, so I Googled the word because that's what it translated also in English, and it just was like this thick curly pasta. It wasn't like elbows. It wasn't like just
pasta is pasta. It's pretty much.
So I was like, okay, that's the shape of the pasta.
What is the shapes and the designs of the pasta?
But,
most of them
but a lot of this stuff was not our fancy words to describe something here, which we Google and it's like, okay, I know what that is. They used it and it was different than our fancy words here too. It was different. I don't know. Maybe if you know a lot of French cuisine, then you'd be okay. But I had a hard time with food there. All the quick service, there was no food I could eat. It was.
Yeah, it wasn't true though. You had grapes. You had grapes a couple times.
So in the Fantasyland, they had these 3 or 4 booths. One booth was crepes, so of course I had the hazelnut crepe, which was wonderful. They had a booth of chocolate dipped strawberries, which I wish we'd gotten that last day, but we didn't. And then some pastry.
There's waffles.
Waffle, yeah. Those are good, but a lot of times we were in that area when we were hungry.
You had 2 cornettos. You had a strawberry cornetto and a caramel cornetto.
I already Googled Walmart doesn't carry cornettos down here. The cornettos are wonderful. The consistency of the ice cream is more like a yogurt, frozen yogurt, but not American frozen yogurt. I don't know how the texture is.
Yeah, I had
so different.
A cold 2 days before we went. It was like a sore throat that developed into a really froggy voice.
Yeah.
And then it was like a dry cough, and then just this morning it started becoming the productive cough. So.
Yeah.
But it's not that bad. I was taking nasal decongestions and stuff like that, so I was. I didn't have an awful thing. Yeah, I was fine except for my voice. So that was it. So.
Yeah, you'll get to hear his voice on the video.
Yeah.
But. Yeah.
Reactions to the food, hiding behind a plant or something. Yeah, but the food was good at Chez Remy's. Except for her one dessert that she did not.
The dessert was weird. It wasn't horrible.
But that didn't destroy it.
No. It just.
Highly recommended. Go check out the Chez Remy's. It's a great experience, great atmosphere.
It would have been better if they had Remy come out or wheeled him around like a little rat thing and like an animatronic, but they didn't have that. But it was cute. It was nice. The atmosphere was nice. The food, I was able to eat chicken and potatoes, which was really good because I needed something.
So what were the top things that you liked about the trip? I want to talk about, we keep this positive because this definitely was a great trip. And you don't want to ruin it just because the coffee was weird and a few things here and there. But what was your favorite things about the trip?
I mean, I really liked being able to walk to all the parks from our hotel.
Yeah, it's all central.
That made it big time. I felt safe. I felt we were in the Disney bubble. We didn't have to rent a car, pay extra money for that.
It's a very beautiful park, too.
We didn't have to worry about parking. So that was a big convenience weight off of our shoulders.
So we got the shuttle. Just something about the Magic Shuttle. It takes time, okay? It was over an hour from the airport because we had arrived right around 5:30. So it was over an hour from the airport to Disneyland Paris. Now, on the way back to the airport, we are the first pickup of the Magic Bus. Magical Express, Magic Shuttle. First, the Disneyland Paris Hotel is the first pickup for the Magical Shuttle. You have like 4 other hotels besides our hotel. So it was like they went to our hotel, and they went to at least 4 other stops. There
was a Westin Hotel, American Westin Hotel.
So
There's
a Cars Hotel,
Santa Fe, United States,
New York
themed hotels,
Cheyenne, Sequoia, and then the Cars one.
I thought that was so funny. All of their hotels, except for the Disneyland Paris one, are all based off of America themed.
But so you're not even on the way to the airport until like 40 minutes after you get picked up at the Disneyland hotel. And then it took about an hour and 20 minutes. So it took 2 hours from when we got on the bus to at the airport. So give yourself time if you're taking the Magical Express. The other options are the train. There's a train station right there at the hotel.
Which, if they do this again,
not at the Disneyland Paris Hotel, but it's at the Disney Village, which is 100 yards away. So the airport there, the train station is right there, and it goes up to the Charles de Gaulle Airport. I'm not sure about Orly, but I imagine it goes there too. But so if you want to take the train, I imagine there's multiple trains, like a subway type of thing. Sure. So that's probably quicker, probably cheaper.
Yeah.
So that's
we'll
another
do that
option.
Next time.
Yeah, I didn't know that was when I was booking. I didn't know the train was right there, and because we love trains, we love the train videos, anyways, and we probably would have taken the train.
Yeah, train's on my list.
So that's one thing to think about.
Yeah.
But the park was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Definitely beautiful.
Yeah.
We got really lucky with the rides, not having to wait.
Yeah, that was a big plus.
We were like, we were there, 3 nights. But the first night, we walked on everything. Yeah. The second day, we walked on 99% of everything. Yeah. And the third day, 99% of everything walked on.
Right.
And we got there on a rope drop in the morning.
Yeah.
Because we were already
like an hour early.
Because again, going that way, when you're used to getting up at 7 o'clock here, that's like 1 a.m. over there. So we had no problem getting up early.
I think we transitioned to the time very quickly.
We did though, but it still was not a problem getting in there for.
No, absolutely not.
We got to get into the park. We get to ride stuff an hour earlier than non-Disney hotel guests.
Over to the hotel either. We didn't have to catch any of that.
You just had to walk right there.
So it saved us time there too.
Yeah, so we get an hour early too, and when we were there for a rope drop, but it didn't really matter because there's a lot of people there for a rope drop.
Yeah, but it wasn't like...
And it was like, there was no wait, that's what I'm trying to say. There's no wait.
It wasn't like here. It wasn't mobbed. When you go to rope drop here, it wasn't even that. It was
so we
fast.
were walked on. It was great. So that helped taking time. That made that way we can just wander and we just look around and take our time. Yeah. And we only had 2.4 days to do all this stuff.
We did everything.
And we didn't feel...
things multiple times.
We didn't feel stressed. We got every single thing that we wanted to do done.
Yeah.
And then 3 or 4 times. It was like... It was great.
We did the Walt Disney Studios. And it's got 3 lands. No. Is it 2 lands? 2.5 lands?
They have the adventure...
Yeah.
Not the Adventures. Avengers part. They have the Cars
Tower, and then the Cars
park. Yeah,
and you go into the park, and then people are running, and
they let people run.
They run.
I'm like, okay,
and I'm
that's
like,
very
oh my god,
un-French like, right?
Right, and then you have to go into a building. So when you go into the park, you get through the turnstiles, you run.
There's big
and then there's
stage 1.
Building.
You have to go through.
You got to go through the
building,
which has restaurants and a couple shops.
Yeah.
And you got to go out that building to go into the land. So that was super weird. And we decided we were going to do the Avengers section because it's Avengers, right? That's going to be the busiest thing. everyone was running to the right. And we were going to the left. We were like, is there something that we don't know about?
That was our lack of
knowledge. We were like, why is everybody running to the right? And I was like, well, we love the Avengers. Let's just do the Avengers.
So this is 8:30 in the morning, okay?
So we went and did the Avengers.
So we did the Avengers. Went to the Avengers park. We got right on Spider-Man as a walk-on, which is a lot of work. Because you can't just go
I was
like
holding
this.
the camera and
it
being
has to
one-handed.
be full arm movement for it to recognize it. So that's what it means with that. But the Avengers coaster, the Flight Force coaster, whatever, which is an awesome ride.
It is.
That didn't open till 9:30. So that's probably why everyone went the other way. Because that ride, that's the main ride, it didn't open till 9:30, which was fine with us. It was no big deal.
Yeah.
So we did Spider-Man. We did a couple of stores, and then we got on that ride.
Yeah.
Because it was 9:30 by then.
Yeah. And then we went over to Tower.
And then we went over Tower, which was another walk-on.
And that was different than ours. That was definitely different than ours.
It's different.
I liked it.
Yeah, you'll see the video. I don't know. You'll see some of the video.
But
that's mostly just they bring
they
you
did not
into
let
the
me video.
I'm talking about not the ride, but they let you video the
queue.
The queue.
Yeah.
But that's just elevator part.
Yeah.
They don't have no where you go into the going forward part in the elevator. It's just up and down and the little girl telling you not to scream.
A lot of up and down. Yeah, so it wasn't like they weren't showing the family and the nanny. It was the little girl.
It was all
and like the door will open and she would say something and then she'd be like, "Don't forget, don't scream." Like she's
screaming will only make it worse.
So that's right. Screaming will only make it worse when the door shuts. So then you're going back up and down, and then it opens up again, and there she is. And she keeps telling us, "Screaming's only going to make it worse," and you keep going up and down.
Yeah.
But I liked that Tower, the way it felt. I liked it better than our Tower.
Really?
Yeah, the feeling. Because I don't like the hovering,
disagree.
and I felt I like this one better. I would rather do this one than...
I thought that part was the same as ours, but whatever.
Yeah. And then we went over to the Cars section.
So we're expecting the Cars ride over there to be like you're in the cars.
You're in the car,
in
like
the cars,
you're
just
racing,
like the California
remember?
one. We were wrong.
So we're sitting in line. Well, first they don't open up that section.
We didn't do
until
much
like
research
11, right?
on the rides on these parks
before
we went. We wanted it to be new, and it was definitely new on it. So this is more like you. Okay, so the rides over there, we still don't know why everyone ran over there, except for it was again toddler centric. I think so. That's why all the families with the toddlers must have been running over there because. That's where their kiddie land is. Pretty much. So they had a bunch of different rides for tiny toddlers.
Toddlers running though. It was adults and teens.
Yeah, well, they must have been trying to get. But the thing is, the main ride that they should have been running for, which is the Cars tour, or whatever, wasn't even open till.
The land wasn't open until 11, so you couldn't even get into the land.
But the other rides were. The
Toy
RC roller coaster and all the little Louie thing and all the little things, all those things were open. That's what they were running to.
Carnival baby rides. So yeah.
To us, anyways, they were. We call them whatever. They're baby rides. They're like
They're little children.
They're for toddlers,
rides, you know.
But adults ride those too. We go on Small World and stuff like that.
But it wasn't like It's a Small World. It wasn't like that type of ride.
So, anyways, people were running that way. We don't know why they were running that way.
Absolutely no clue why. The only thing I can think of is maybe there was like character meet and greets. I don't know.
So, but the Cars ride wasn't the Cars. It was. If you've ever ridden the backstage tour
we walk
Studios,
into the line. Right? And the first vehicle pulls up, and it's the tram.
It's like the long tram from the backstage tour. Okay?
Oh, those aren't cars.
It's a big tram.
Right?
Okay?
We're expecting the cars to show up.
If you've ever been on the backstage tour in the old MGM Studios here in Orlando, that's the type of tram it was. And we're like, okay. So
we both look at it like, what?
So they bring you through, you get on the tram, and you're going you're going slowly.
Like
they're saying,
66.
Here's Route 66 stuff, okay?
Yeah.
There's a section over here and a section over there. But it's car-centric, based
and
on the movie Cars.
You're slowly going.
But
it's like a road trip.
But then there is a section in there that's called Catastrophe Canyon. It's just like the Catastrophe Canyon that we used to have on ours, which just brought back a lot of memories from the Catastrophe Canyon, because Catastrophe Canyon was awesome.
It was.
I like that.
We
So
missed,
this
we
was
missed that ride.
Catastrophe Canyon, which was exactly like the Catastrophe Canyon,
We were
except
so excited.
yeah, we were very excited.
We were like, oh my god, it's the tanker. Oh my god, that's where the fire is going to be. Like, oh my god,
Yeah.
it was so exciting.
So exactly like the Catastrophe Canyon, except the water wasn't coming down the canyon towards us. They only had the dump over from the backside.
Yeah. So you didn't get wet.
A lot of water.
You didn't get wet.
They had fire. They had that stuff. Just the only thing that was different, they didn't have the water coming towards us, which you get a little bit more wet that way.
Yeah.
But everything else was like Catastrophe Canyon. So that was a very
nice.
pleasant surprise. We liked that. But
that
that was pretty much it. They just did that.
And then
that
you
loop.
just kind of finished the little
It made me
trip.
miss the backstage tour a lot.
Yeah.
From ours. And
that was wonderful.
How stupid MGM Studios was for getting rid of that.
Yeah.
They should still create it. They should add it back or something like that. I wish they would bring back that part of the studios.
Have the old MGM.
Tim, welcome in.
Ears Tower. So that was nice to see too.
Yeah.
They had that. They had kind of like a sorcerer's hat, but it wasn't like the big Mickey sorcerer's hat like they added to MGM. It was
kind of like into a front of a building on the front of a store, but it was nice to see that. It brought back memories of that.
That was nice.
I was never a huge fan of the hat to begin with.
No, but
because
it was still
blocked,
nice.
It blocked the Chinese theater.
Yeah,
what we realized from the original.
To do that, but it was nice to see it. It was bringing back some nostalgia of the old MGM.
Yeah, and they had the Eiffel Tower. They had their own Eiffel Tower there, which was the big water tower with the ears, just like ours used to have.
Yeah, you watching in the chat?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a great.
The studios.
It was a great trip,
studios park is very small, but it was nice to go.
Cynthia's here. I'm here. Start over. Hey, Cynthia.
Merch. Let's talk merch. They had a lot of the same merch we have here. There was not a lot of merch that said Disneyland Paris, and that was what we were looking for.
There was, not that we liked.
But there was a lot that we didn't like. We didn't like the coloring and the graphics or whatever, or the styles. So it was hard to find stuff that had Disneyland Paris, and that's what we agreed. Is that's all we're gonna buy? Is that because you can buy all the other merch at our parks? What's the point of buying it there? It doesn't even tell you what park you bought it from or what country you bought it from. So that was a little disappointing for me.
I didn't get a souvenir because I'm very picky with any shirts or merch that I like, and I did not find any shirts that I liked enough to buy.
And
so
we had to factor in.
You got a shirt. You got a couple shirts. And
we had to factor in also that we only brought 2 carry-on suitcases. And we also had to go through customs.
I'm glad we did with the suitcase thing. It worked out fine.
It was much easier.
We had room in our 2 carry-ons.
Yeah.
It was only technically 4 days, so it was.
I know, but I packed because it was in the low 50s.
It was fine,
so it was cold for me. So I packed a pair of sweatpants for each day. I packed a sweatshirt for each day. So I had we still had room in suitcases.
Room. And we did use it. We did buy some stuff, but we didn't have a lot of room.
We didn't have a lot of room. So we were limited to what we can get to. And then,
So you didn't bring back a mug, sorry, Matt.
No mugs, because also we had to go through customs, and we didn't know, we didn't want anything breakable.
We weren't sure how customs works, because we've been on a cruise, but we didn't have to do it.
None of that.
None of that stuff.
And I've watched a lot of Customs Nightmare. And those are the extreme cases.
We did have to throw out. I had to throw out a sandwich.
2
sandwiches.
2 meat sandwiches because you can't bring in.
Couldn't bring ham back in. One I threw out because I hadn't eaten it and I wasn't sure if it was still good by the time I was able to eat it. The one on the way back, I had to throw out because it contained ham.
You can't have seeds,
no produce,
plants, no agriculture
meat, or produce,
egg, any of that. So they ask you if you have that, and I'm like, no. But we had I got M&Ms. I got
potato chips. That was all fine.
Potato chips, and they didn't care about any of that. It was the other stuff because you can't corrupt their agriculture things and like meat, hand, mouth, and foot disease.
Here, Deborah, welcome in.
Hey, Deborah. So, yeah. So we were weary. We've never done this before, and we've heard of Customs Nightmare. and we didn't want to be held up in customs for them to go through all our stuff. So we were very careful of what we bought, but there really was not a lot of merch.
I'm even picky at Disney World, so it's just that's just me. But it did have Disneyland Paris merch.
It did, but
it's just not a lot that. No, nothing that I like to buy,
like,
but you bought some.
I'm
bought some
looking,
stuff
I'm like
for the
trying
kids.
to say, like, okay, no, Avery wouldn't wear that. Avery wouldn't wear that. No, he wouldn't want that.
Yeah,
like,
not a ton.
All their books, like they had a couple cookbooks that he would have loved, but they were all in French.
Yes.
And he's not going to do anything with that.
There's one where like, okay, well maybe
this
even
would be perfect.
and we would need a translator. It's not like a lot of the food. You could tell, okay, this says tomato, but tomato in French, or I mean,
it wasn't.
That's a bad example, but you wouldn't even be able to do the recipe by the pictures, you know.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You would have to translate it.
Yeah,
And
so
I don't think he would get as much.
I just
out of
wish
it.
they had one where maybe it was like French and then English.
Oh yeah, the dual language, that would have been great.
But they did. I looked. I kept looking at the books, and they were all 100% in French, which I totally get it because you're in France. But so some of the things that I think he would have really liked.
We picked him up some stuff that
we did.
We haven't given them to them yet though.
No.
But like different types of candies and sweets and stuff that Avery would like.
Yeah, we were talking to my mom last night, and I still felt like I was on the plane. My ears are still bothering me this morning, but like I still felt like I was still in the air, like muffled. I was all muffled. So we're gonna empty out our suitcases this morning.
Candy Mom was blessed with a Chip and Dale magnet from Paris. So that's cool.
Very cool.
He said, "Hello, beautiful." Oh, sorry. Oh, Stacy D is here. Tigger fan.
Oh, welcome in.
Welcome in, Stacy.
Yeah. So this morning I've been importing the videos onto the computer. I gotta take your phone. And
Thousands of videos. Yeah, I need to clear up my space.
1,200 photo/video that I wanted to go
live a lot of times from there, but we weren't sure exactly how it would work over.
You're having issues with your phone.
We were getting.
I called before
mixed messages from
Verizon.
the phone saying, "Okay, if you have." Yeah, you had set up the Verizon.
I called Verizon and I says, what do I have to do to make sure? And I made sure both of our phones, he said, we both have the special plan, and this is what we did. We both did it, but you were having issues on your phone. For some reason, his message wasn't coming. I wasn't able to read his message.
I wasn't sure what was taken and what wasn't taken, and I wasn't going to do a live stream, and all of a sudden we come back and I get nailed for $1,000 or something because of some stupid role that...
Yeah.
Some stupid rule that I wasn't
something
aware
that they
of,
didn't do
like
that they should have done on their end.
And to tell you the truth, we were there to relax and have fun anyway.
Right.
So
so we text, minimally, and stuff.
Leanne's here. Welcome in, Leanne.
Good morning. So yeah.
I'm liking all the old pictures that Leanne's been putting up because
yes,
the old stuff.
I saw her.
We have tons of that stuff too. Yeah, we started going in '88. Which is probably later than other people started going. But you were littler, but we have a lot of those memories and a lot of pictures from the things that you're showing and like the bubble parade and stuff like that.
A lot of people did not like the birthday cake. I liked it because it was different. When I wanted it as a permanent thing.
Because we went in '95. I think the bubble cake was in, what was it, '98 or?
I just know that we saw the.
It might have been '96 because that was 20.
Yeah. We liked it because it was different, and we knew that we were going to be coming multiple times, so we knew the bubble cake wasn't going to stay there, so we liked it because it was just different, something different that Disney did, and
not
we
the
got
bubble
to
cake.
not the bubble cake, the birthday cake. Yeah. Well, and they had different parades. They had a parade at this park. It was smaller than our parades. It was cute.
Well, thank you. Cynthia said she didn't message us because.
Yeah, we tried to keep it in because we didn't know. The only time we messaged was with the kids.
We'll see what kind of bill we get from Verizon.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. But the parades, you're like 6, 7 deep. And we happened to be walking into the park during the parade.
We walked into the park.
So I basically was like, I found a little window.
Boom, parade started. Like, wow, okay,
so I
that's good
videoed
timing.
it through this little area. So you'll get to see the parade.
I filmed the parade too from a different
angle.
So
if you have a better, I'm going to look and see what angle's the better. and maybe
So
kind of
we
mix
got
it.
lots of videos coming.
Oh my
Victor
gosh.
Falls, welcome in. So lots of videos coming, and we covered pretty much all the rides, all the different things that we could possibly, that we did. Again, we did everything that we wanted to do. I know that some people who are different on what they prefer to do.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's got their own idea of their vacation.
Like, we didn't waste any time doing, like, the Dumbo. We didn't do Dumbo.
Or the Aladdin carpets. Because it's the exact same thing.
Exact same thing, and we were still worried that at any time it could get really busy, and then we're trying to scramble to do things that we really, really wanted to do.
Yeah, but we even did, like, we did the Ratatouille. It's the exact same thing as the Ratatouille in Epcot here.
Except you don't have to wear glasses.
Right, which
cool.
was very good. I think maybe the video might have been a little different. I don't know, because I usually have to look away at the Ratatouille.
Victor's going to Disneyland, Paris. Once all the refurbishments are done, yes.
There was a lot of refurbishments. There's a lot coming there.
And there was a brand new area of the Studios Park that was about to open. You can see it's going to open like in a month or so, right?
Like a snow mountain.
There's Arendelle, as you can see it down the end of the street.
That's going to be nice.
Arendelle architecture of the buildings, and then a big icy mountain back there.
Yeah, that's going to be nice when it opens.
That's going to be cool.
There was a lot. All the parks did have walls. Even
a lot of walls.
Their Disney Village, which is like a much smaller version than Disney Springs.
Victor.
There was walls up. There's a lot of walls up, which you'll see. And like we didn't know, is that them refurbishing a ride or is that a new ride? We didn't know, but it didn't bother us because it's the first time and we didn't know what we're going to get done anyway. So that didn't really bother us that there was a lot of walls because we didn't know what it looked like prior. They've done the mountains under construction. They had a lot of scaffolding just like ours.
And we wanted to do something.
And their Liberty boat was covered up with a huge tarp over it.
Yeah.
So I wish we could have seen that.
This was our 30th anniversary. We weren't going to make a big deal out of our 31st anniversary. That would have been next year, and so it is what it is. And we had a great time, and whatever. It's something to look forward to. I know the kids want to go there at some point in the future.
Yeah. And
once Sophie's out of college and has her own job and doing her own thing, then we could set up a trip all together if we want to.
You guys come down and you go to SeaWorld. You gotta look for Sophie. She might be spotting a parade or she might be driving the float, which you won't see her if she's driving the float because she's in the little
inside the float.
But so SeaWorld did she said it was a 5-second, I haven't seen the video yet, a 5-second Instagram video of the new parade. And
Sophie's in it.
She's spotting a float, so she's down
in the left-hand corner.
She's actually in it, so she sent me a screenshot of it. So I'll have to send out to some of the people. I'll probably put it on Facebook too, of her wearing her, her outfit and she's spotting the parade. So those
the
are
parade spotters are just the ones walking alongside the floats, making sure that
they have to make sure the float. She's directing the float and stuff, because the float you only have a little section that they can see, and that someone's driving the float. So that person that's driving the float is watching Sophie. And she directs them to make the corners, make sure she doesn't run anyone over, and has the right distance between them and the actors or the float in front. So
Cynthia, you're crazy, woman. I had to put up with her, man. She's the one that's the nuts.
What?
She's saying 30 years of putting up with me. Jeez. I'm the easy one.
So
she's the crazy lady. Mm-hmm. She's the troublemaker.
So
I'm the diplomat. She's the one with the mouth.
I am the one with the mouth.
The one with the mouth that sometimes,
frustration comes
out. You turned into the American that people, the world hate. I was like, don't do that.
No, I did that once. I did it once. And it warranted it. People weren't doing their job. It warranted it.
It was
okay.
Sometimes it's definitely warranted.
But, I don't just go off on the mouth just to go off on the mouth. It's going to be bad for me to have to open up my mouth. But so like Mark and Jan were there, and they saw the parade. But she might have been driving the parade, or she might have been off that day. Maybe. So the parade's only been, the new parade in SeaWorld's only been out for 3 days now. And there was one day she wasn't working it, one day I think she was driving it, and one day she was spotting. And she's actually working it today, so if anyone's going to be going to SeaWorld today...
Hey, Michelle.
I don't know if she's driving it or spotting it, but I think she's spotting it because she kind of hinted to us that 1 o'clock today she's spotting the parade. So I think she wanted us to kind of go into SeaWorld today.
We'll see how it is.
But,
I lost all my acclimation to this Florida heat now, because we were spent the last 4 days in like 60s
50.
with jackets. It got down to the 50s with light jackets. And
I was
now
like
I came back here now.
sweatpants,
We got out of the airport yesterday in Orlando, and it was like smothering humidity. And it was like, oh man,
it's so hot right now. The sun's right here beating down on us, so it's really hot. But
so I gotta get reacclimated to the Florida weather.
Yeah.
Looks like someone's up.
Yep. So I'll be working videos.
Sophie girl.
Yeah, Sophie girl. She just took a shower. 1 o'clock. Are you spotting or are you driving?
It's 1:30.
1:30.
Spotting.
Spotting.
Yeah, if we're not there, you're gonna cry.
No.
Okay, good.
You don't have to come.
We'll have to go another day. I know, but the only time we'll get to see her on the weekends to do it.
We'll see.
So.
I just SeaWorld to me is, I like the shows, but you know me, I don't need to see shows more than like once a year.
I love seeing the animals.
So SeaWorld becomes boring to me pretty quick. And the roller coasters, I'll do like one every time we're there, but I don't need to do the big giant roller coasters, not like we used to. So
okay.
We'll see what's going on.
Alright, so we gotta empty out our suitcases and I guess start working videos. I don't know if you just want to lounge around.
Yeah,
today.
I just want to do a coffee talk because it was our first chance to do it, and it's officially we're still on vacation, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a holiday. Happy Memorial Day.
Well, not happy.
Well, Remembrance Day.
Yeah.
We're celebrating Memorial
Day is we go out early in the morning with Sophie and we
used to put the
yesterday,
flags down.
so it'd be the day before we would put the flags down at the cemetery. And then we would go to all the different grave sites and follow the parade through. And Sophie would do like the Pledge of Allegiance at all the cemeteries. One year she sang Star Spangled Banner at some of the at the cemetery, or
1 year by myself and then 1 year with the
high
school choir.
Yeah, so she did 1 year by herself and then one with the choir. So she was in the program, but I don't know. She's been doing this since you were like
12 years. Yeah.
How old? Since you were 6.
Yeah.
Maybe not. More like 10, probably.
10? You think it was around 10?
I think it was earlier than
It was
that.
earlier because you were little. You were in Brownies.
Very little, yeah.
She was in Brownies.
You were Daisies.
When she started.
She was Daisies before.
Okay,
so they actually
the little
wrote,
blue coat. Not
put
the
this way,
brown
she did it every year to the point where they actually wrote her into the program. She was part of the program.
And you gave a nice little speech on my last year.
Her last year, they gave a little speech about her because she was moving on to college, and so that was really nice that they did that.
That was great.
So.
I miss those days.
So Memorial Day, it's, I miss not doing that because if we were still in Mass, I know you'd still be doing it.
Probably. I don't know, they might want a younger person.
They want like a new recruit to do
want.
it, but if you didn't, you would have always been there for them as a backup, and they know that. So it's weird for Memorial Day to not be doing something special in regards to Memorial Day, or going to like the cemetery, or we're doing the flags or something.
I wonder if we'll have something at SeaWorld.
Oh, maybe. Make sure you find that out. Maybe you can be a part of that.
All right, so let's move this on.
Okay, it's super hot right here.
Yes, very hot.
Okay, well, thank everyone for popping in.
Yeah, I just want to do a coffee talk.
Our
give you a little bit of an update, a recap of our trip. And
so videos will be coming. There'll be a lot of videos. Again, it was specifically to enjoy. So
we read all the comments. So if you ever want to comment on the videos, and we try to reply to every single one. So so thank you all for watching, and thank you all for what you guys do. We appreciate it, and
we enjoy it with you guys. That's why we do it.
So thank you for being there. And we will see you again real soon. Keep an eye out for the thumbnails and whatnot. And we'll be going live soon at some point. So keep an eye out.
Yep.
But until next time, don't forget to do your duty.
It's a big duty.
Bye, guys.
Bye, baby. Sophie says bye.
Sophie says goodbye. Do you want to end? Yes, end.